Back to season 2 of Sun Valley Shop Talk, which is the podcast about the stories, folks, and happenings around Sun Valley, Idaho. And today we have a really special guest to inaugurate our second season, and that's Jeffra Sims. And she is someone who has truly seen the Sun Valley lifestyle from the inside out. And back in the late 90s, Jeffra Sims was a co-founder of Distinctive Properties, LLC, a boutique firm that became the go-to for the entertainment industry's elite. At a time when Sun Valley was exploding onto the global stage, Jeffra and her partner Jody Manalo,
right? Yep, you said it correct.
Okay, weren't just selling homes, they were managing the private Idaho retreats of some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Their work was so influential that it was spotlighted in Town & Country magazine's iconic Distinctive Properties feature, cementing their reputation for world-class service and total discretion. But if you ask Jeffra what she's most proud of, it isn't the high-profile client list. It's the life she and her husband Kevin built while raising their daughter Kelsey. Jeffra is a fixture in the Wood River Valley community, having served on as a board president of Swiftshore Ranch, chairing the Cowboy Ball, volunteering for the World Cup, and an avid supporter both in fundraising and advocacy work for the Alzheimer's Association. Please welcome a woman who knows exactly what makes this community so special, Jeffra Sims.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Yes. Okay. So, like I mentioned, I always ask the question of what brought you to Sun Valley and what keeps you in Sun Valley.
What brought me is a longer story that probably would take hours.
Yeah.
Moved here with a friend for a job to get away from another town. I was living in Las Vegas. That in itself is a story.
Yeah.
Decided that wasn't where I needed to be. Moved to Ketchum in November when we really had slack. Never thought I'd stay. Thought I'd be going back to a city. Met my husband and decided that this wasn't such a bad place.
Yeah.
And after a while, it grows on you, and decided that, yeah, I think I could stay here. And then we married and decided this was the perfect place to raise our child. And now I can't imagine leaving.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what, being in Las Vegas to coming here, was that kind of a...
culture shock.
Yeah.
My husband will tease that, I arrive in November and I'm still thinking I can wear skirts and heels, and Sorels and jeans were the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah.
But the heels are gone. I've got the Sorels now. But no, it was a big change.
Where are you from originally?
Central California.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Okay.
I'm a farmer's daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, no way.
Yeah.
What did they grow?
Almonds and cotton and beets.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, no way. Okay. So then what brought you when you went from going from farmland, and then you mentioned you went to USD? And then Vegas?
A boy.
Oh, okay.
A boy to Vegas, or a boy to California, San Diego, and then no boy from Vegas.
Okay, from Vegas
young.
to here. Yeah.
Not making the best decisions when you're that age.
Yeah. When you were in Vegas, were you in doing anything hospitality related?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
So
Retail.
How did that start here for you getting into property management?
I worked for an existing property management company, and to me, kind of the foray into the luxury niche.
Yeah.
That property management company sold a larger company. I think it was called like Betts, British Tobacco something, came in and bought like 6 of the smaller property management companies.
Wow.
I was then probably 5-6 months pregnant. My husband, who is a proponent of being self-employed, said, "You and Jody need to jump in and start a business." And we laughed and said, "Yeah, no, and, I'm pregnant." And
how old were you at this point?
I was 33.
Okay.
And I remember my husband was on a photo shoot. Jody and I tagged along and said, "Well, we'll see. We'll work some numbers." And we did. And if we would have actually followed the numbers we put on our projection, we wouldn't have made it for 6 months. We had no idea what we were doing as far as budgets. We started the business in September, I think of about 90 96, 95. Went into Christmas with a full house, and it never slowed down.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
We were lucky. We had great, loyal, repeat clients. I think it was probably good that we didn't know what we didn't know, that we didn't have fear and never thought we wouldn't make it. Never advertised. All of our business was word of mouth.
Wow. And I feel like that's super common up here too, a little bit.
It
Like
is.
if you do a good job, it feels like you can get
That's
away
the
with
best way
without,
to,
yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so I want to know, because us being property managers, obviously, what was the like first couple homes and clients like, and then how did you get into like managing some high end clients? What was that transition?
We were fortunate because when the larger corporation bought all of the smaller businesses, we had worked for one of the luxury
Gotcha.
companies.
Okay.
And so there was just kind of this natural progression of, if you're going to do this, we will come with you. And we were lucky that they had the confidence in us to come and trust their homes with us and their rentals. But it was crazy. I mean, it was, we wanted to do well, but we didn't expect that it was going to be such a burst of support.
Yeah, right.
For our first Christmas season.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it definitely, it had its challenges. I mean, I remember being in the bathtub, and again, I'm due on New Year's Eve, and my husband comes, and we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
So, or we did, but they were the big kind of brick ones. And my husband comes and gets me and says, Jody needs you. You just had one of your ceilings collapse in one of the properties.
Oh.
And it's probably 8:00 at night. And I just remember thinking, why did I do this? This is, so you get dressed, you get up and you go to the house and realize that probably something had been put down a toilet that shouldn't, and then caused kind of flooding, and then the ceiling collapsed.
Yeah. So wait, when at this point when you and Jody went on your own, was the first Christmas, like how long
That
was
would
that?
have been, let's see, if I had my child in 1996, that would have been Christmas of 95.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. And
So-
so you had her like New Year's of 96.
Well,
So
luckily
it's-
she was late.
Okay.
I had her January 18th.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So no, it was perfect because we were done with the Christmas season.
yeah.
I could have a baby.
Yeah.
Took 3 weeks off, and then she was back at the office with us.
And so you had renters. You guys were you doing rental management or
We
just
did short-term
Okay.
rentals.
Okay.
And then also we had a few estates.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
we kind of inherited some of those that we had
Yeah.
with the former company.
Yeah. I know it's definitely a job that you don't like.
Oh.
Even when you're off, you're on.
Oh,
still.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
yes. We actually again, it was 95. We had the old-fashioned pagers that
Yeah.
you wore on your belt, and then it beep beep beep, and then you had to find a phone to go
Yeah.
call. And
Okay, so I want to know what the difference is, because so for our client, like Sun Valley, obviously high end market. So the guests we're dealing with on a daily basis are like some more high end families, and they're great people, but they expect
High
good service.
expectation.
Yeah, yeah. There's really high expectations here, but for you, like we don't manage the celebrity or like the high end homeowner. You've had experience in that. What's the what would you say is like the difference between those expectations of some of the, like a lot of people, because for us it's like we manage a lot of homes, but there's always in the back of our mind, like if we just got the big fish, it's like then you're okay.
be careful what you wish for.
I know, yeah, exactly, yeah, totally. So what's the, like, what would you say to that kind of comment?
I don't think anymore the expectation's any different. I think
Yeah.
your homeowner with the house in Greenhorn Gulch that is a part-timer is the same
Yeah.
as the celebrity with the fairway home. I think you are operating in a more difficult period of time. I think
interesting.
it was novel still, and it was easier to meet and exceed expectation. I think with technology and just the internet, and that there's so much information out there that it sets people's expectations so high. And I think you probably would see that from, the part-time homeowner to the entertainment industry.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, now it's fascinating too, because with Ring and all of these cameras,
Yeah.
at any given time, homeowners can check in and see houses and what you're
Yeah.
doing and what you're not doing. And
That's a really good point. I actually haven't even thought about that. That's a good point. And yeah, even with like how people are perceiving how a vacation would look like on social media
right.
versus where it's like everything is, glorified on there, and then you come,
Right.
it's still amazing, but the expectation is this dream like stay. So any little thing is like I guess exponentially more,
Right.
effective on like how much you're enjoying your time or something
Oh.
like that. Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't really
No,
thought about that much.
we had a situation where it was summer and incoming guests had asked that we have rental bikes ready for their arrival. So we rented the bikes. They're at the property. One of the mini fires that summer, whether it was Jackson or I can't remember, but we had smoke. Well, they didn't ride their bikes, and they expected us to refund their money. And you're like, I can control a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the weather and
Yeah.
the smoke are kind of out of my control.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure you're already doing it. We got to the point that we had to initiate and educate ourselves and start offering travel insurance because you aren't judge and jury. And all of a sudden, when grandma died, because we don't have snow here, you can't question if grandma really died.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
and it was the only way we could protect ourselves and our homeowners.
Yeah.
Because we can't control the weather.
Yeah, totally. We actually had to put that in our rental agreements, like
Yeah.
because we a couple summers ago it was real bad smoke, and guest after guest after guest was saying like we want refunds, all these sorts of things.
Yeah, yes.
So we literally have now in a rental agreement, it's like if there's a fire or smoke, it's like or unforeseen circumstances like we can't control.
Right.
It's like there's no
Early departure, you don't get your money back.
Which I
from.
get it. Like you don't want to have that's a bummer, but also
It's a risk.
yeah, you represent a homeowner that's expecting that income also. So, man, that is interesting. I haven't thought about that too much. Okay, okay, back to your story. So you're after that holiday,
Okay.
Christmas holiday.
Yes.
That was your first year.
That was our first year.
Okay, so then you start. You're growing more after that. Is your inventory growing or
Inventory's
is like okay.
growing. We it was actually similar to what you were just telling me. You start in a smaller office, and then you outgrow that.
Yeah.
You want it easier for your housekeepers to have access, and also again, word of mouth comes to play. Also, town was smaller, and so we would call it cocktail conversation. That holiday, somebody would be at another party and talk about that. Well, I rented my house for $10,000 a night, and then we would get the call that, well, we heard you're renting Jimmy's house for $10,000 a night. We think we should get 20 and would like you to rent our house. And so we started getting more of that where everybody, and again, there was no VRBO, there was no Airbnb. When we were representing houses, we would go photograph them. I would borrow my husband's tripod and camera, and Jody and I would go, if we couldn't beg him to do it,
Yeah.
we'd go photograph, go to f-stop, develop our film,
Wow.
paste it on pieces of paper, and then put it FedEx.
Wow.
Because the internet wasn't as robust.
So you would send that to clients
so
that
we
maybe
had-
would be interested in.
So they would call and say, so and so stayed with you. We'd like to stay near so and so. We need 6 bedrooms. We need this, this, this.
Yeah.
We'd say, okay, this is the perfect house. Photograph it. Send the photos. FedEx. We had a huge FedEx bill.
Wow.
But again, word of mouth. People heard about that. Also, at that time, it was a little more feasible that you could buy a wildflower condo and maybe offset some of your expenses, your association fees with rental income. So we did a lot of performance of, if I buy this, how many nights a year can I rent and at what rate? And
Yeah, you're speaking my language. That's what I do every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tons of performance.
I don't ever want to do one again.
Now we're at the point where they could just say the address and I have a pretty good idea of what it's going to rent for. But
10 days at Christmas.
Yeah.
This many. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, that's
used
so
to- we
funny.
tried
So
at
it
one
really has
point.
not changed much. Like from what
No.
you're saying, it's like the same thing other than it's online now.
And realtors love you because they want you
Yeah.
to help sell the property for them.
Yes.
And so they think, but I'm sure it's difficult anymore. We used to at the end just say, maybe you can minimize, some of your property taxes or, again, it depends.
That's honestly, I think that's what it is. Like, it's the real estate is so expensive up here. I never really would tell someone like this is a great investment property.
Right.
But in terms of like, in terms of like getting a lot of your income back, like you're not going to yield a high percentage of money from renting, but yeah, it'll cover some taxes. It'll cover your HOAs.
And you get to use it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's your pleasure.
And like you get, you're walking through the property. Like at least we're walking through the property a lot more than if it was long term or if they didn't have a manager at all. Like so,
Right.
the house is getting really good taken care of. So yeah, that's so funny. It's the same. But yeah, we talk with a bunch of like realtors are our best friends out here. So
They're the best referral source.
Yeah, exactly. They absolutely are.
They are kind of your bread and butter.
Yeah. So do you feel like it's changed much since like how from
Property
the
management?
outside? Yeah, how you're watching the industry grow or
Well, I think tremendously, but again, because of VRBO, Airbnb, I think our format, how we operated wouldn't exist in this day and time because it's easier for owners to do it themselves. You have more competition, I think, in your industry.
yeah.
I think length of stay has shortened. Again, there were times that we were 2-week minimum at Christmas.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it maybe 7 at the least. We never went beyond or less than 7 at Christmas. And I think, again, the travelers are more savvy. It was easier for us to anticipate their needs. Our suppliers and the people we worked with within the community, there were more real locals that you knew. And so it was so much easier that if I needed a florist and somebody was coming in and all of a sudden I knew I needed this many bouquets, I could call Sue Bridgman and I knew she always had my back.
Yeah.
Or, we had the cell phone number for, at that time it was Quest, for our telephone guys, so that if you went into a property and you were having phone problems, I had the phone number of the cell to call and I could get Dave.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know, I mean, I'm sure you have those solid contacts, but I think now there's so many more people, it's a little more difficult to have that go-to person 24/7.
That's for sure. Yeah. It's taken us years, I think, to get to that point. Like we have our people, but when we first started, it was like whoever the highest bidder was.
Right.
Like if you're going to pay more, they'll come. But now it's, we've gotten to the point where it's like, we've got our plumber, we've got our electrician.
And you have to have that.
So, but it took a lot of time for sure. And because we're expanding over to McCall.
That's what I heard.
So now we're in a whole new spot of like, it's definitely like needed over there for like they seem like they're back like a couple years.
Okay.
In
Well,
terms
that's
of
good.
like,
That's a good time to enter.
Yeah, no, totally. But they're in terms of finding the right relationships again, it's like we're starting over on that and that side of things. But we'll have our local general manager over there, so that'll be
He'll
good.
be a
like,
local.
yeah, actually living there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be huge to be able to have that representative. But yeah, that's like the only thing I'm, we're trying to gather together is like, we got to get our people to make sure that they can respond when there's problems. Like that's the biggest.
I think that's kind of what makes or break.
Yeah.
And I think in a resort community, your guests don't care if it's Sunday, if it's Christmas, if it's, they just expect fix it. Hopefully have it right when I arrive, but if it isn't, just get her fixed.
Right.
We had a client that they rented 3 houses because they needed space for the chef and the masseuse and then they decided on a Sunday they needed another refrigerator. Well, as you know, in Ketchum, there aren't a lot of places open, and we kept trying to explain that, well, you know, we can get to Twin, but that won't be till Monday.
Right.
So it didn't make them happy, but it was the best. I mean, you could only do so much.
Wow.
I mean, short of emptying out your own refrigerator, which I did toy with, and my husband said, no, we're not giving away our refrigerator.
Yeah.
You know,
Were they paying for it, or there was like
they're
they're going to buy the fridge?
I would think you've seen the same things that people will buy.
Yeah.
And then housekeepers love it.
Yeah.
You know, there are a few of those that if it's a refrigerator or there were some things that you're like, management first.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, yeah, no, it was always.
We haven't had that. We've definitely had some big purchases or some extra things that people want in the homes, but a fridge, no. That's funny. For what? Just extra food?
Just extra food for the caterer, I guess, to make all the.
Yeah.
So, no, we've had beautiful lanterns that were hung out in trees and, you know, that you're kind of like, those are real candles.
Yeah.
A little before now, all these beautiful battery operated, but luckily, you know, no fires.
What was the, okay, so that was 96, you said? Mm-hmm. Okay, first year. And then, do you remember when you guys got your first big, like, quote unquote, bigger client?
We were very fortunate that a lot of our large clients came with us that first year.
Okay, so they all came with.
We had them at Christmas.
Okay, that's great.
We had a full house of clients that we had worked with in the past.
Yeah.
That trusted us. So no, we were.
Okay, that's great. So you were totally okay. Your transition was like right in there.
Seamless.
Yeah.
You know, our probably biggest dilemma, and you work with it as well, is housekeeping. Mm-hmm. And while we were ready and we knew we could service our guests, the housekeeping side, because a lot of the guests went daily, and then you're trying to do short term. And if you have any, you know, back-to-backs or homeowners come in and then they leave right before Christmas, and now you've got to turn that property. And, you know, I remember our office was above Inateca in Ketchum.
Yeah.
That used
that's
to be.
Funny. We actually almost were gonna take that office. It came up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was really
so
fun.
Cool.
We had distinctive properties in the window. And,
that was probably so fun during the Sheep Festival.
And the Wagon Day Parade.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Oh, cool.
But I remember one Christmas, again, I'm pregnant, and the Western Cafe was still intact down by U.S. Bank.
Okay.
And I remember running in my shoes on the ice to go meet this housekeeper at the Western because I was going to drive her to a property.
Yeah.
And I'd never met her, but it was just like somebody told us their mom could work. And,
Yeah.
you know, and you're just like, come on, I'm going to run down and get you if you want to come.
Yeah.
So that, and we were lucky in those days. Sun Valley, the ski school, they were our friends, so they trusted us because we had to select the ski instructors we felt would work best with our clients.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so first year we were able to do all of that.
Wow.
And match up. And some of those relationships still exist to this day.
Wow.
Maybe they're not skiing with the client anymore, but they're still friends. And
oh, that's really cool.
so no, it was fun. My husband used to call it Jody and Jeffra's Fun House.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know it would get as big as it did.
Yeah, right.
And
just so the whole time, just from word of mouth.
just from word of mouth. I mean, I think we had our phone number and names and number.
Yeah. Okay.
But no ad.
Okay. And that would just get around. Like that's so
Because
interesting.
what would happen is that if, one client came and there was also a big movement at that time that a certain kind of age group demographic of the entertainment industry all came to Ketchum in Sun Valley.
Gotcha.
And because of, who bought and where they were located, then the next group would want to come and they call and say, but we want to stay near, Arnold and Maria. And so then you were having to find, okay, we need to find places there. And that worked well for us.
Yeah. Were you dealing directly with the clients, or would they have like assistants or like
both?
Okay.
Both.
So yeah, it just depended.
You dealt a lot with assistants that would also become very good friends.
Right.
But then once the clients arrived, to me it was important to try to shoulder that responsibility away from the assistant and give them a break and do as much as we could to kind of alleviate some of their pressure, because they're also not here.
Right.
So you would still get the, Susie needs her hair done on New Year's Eve. Can you get an appointment?
Mm-hmm.
Or often Susie would call and say, I need a hair appointment on New Year's Eve. But no, we worked with a lot of assistants.
Did you experience any of your clients end up just purchasing places out here themselves and then renting with you, or? Okay.
Ended up, we had clients that purchased, and then we would do the estate management.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, no,
It makes sense actually, like that. And I want to ask why. I'll ask follow up, but it makes sense here why like high end clients or celebrities would go into vacation rental, because if other lodging, if it's a hotel or anything, it's there may be privacy in the room, but in terms of like there's just a lot more footprint going on around that area, whereas they can just find a lot more privacy in a home. So yeah,
and leave their things.
Yeah,
a lot of them are very particular about what linens, what water they want, so that way it's a lot of it can just be left. They can fly in and out.
Mm-hmm.
It's all there.
Is that why you feel like they like Sun Valley over or the people, like the celebrities that came here, being able to like have that kind of privacy here, or
I would think
what was kind of the draw? I mean, it's beautiful, but like what?
I can't answer, having never lived in like Jackson or Aspen. I visited as a tourist.
Yeah.
But I do believe in comments that were made when clients would arrive, it's a community. And I think they enjoyed feeling a part of kind of a community where they could go to Grumpy's. Mm-hmm. And probably people stared, but nobody bugged them.
Yeah, totally. Still today, I feel like it's that.
And
that's
exactly.
kind of the case.
I think it's just, it's peaceful. They can have anonymity.
Mm-hmm. That's fun. Yeah, it's growing up in Newport Beach. There's like, you don't see a lot of celebrities, but occasionally you will, and it's like the people just are flocking to them. But here even I would get excited if you like saw someone that was famous. But then coming here for whatever reason, even like you just don't feel that same sort of
well, you kind of feel like you need to give them their space.
Yeah,
that
it's
they're
like
here
kind of just
for
a different
reason.
respect. Yeah. I don't know. It's just funny how Sun Valley kind of does that. But it feels like it's, I mean, the history of it coming back to with the Union Pacific being able to give access from people in LA up to here. It feels like it's been demonstrated for like a really long time that
And
this
it's
is
not always easy.
Yeah.
I mean, we had clients that would arrive and be like, "Oh, this is kind of slow, and your night scene isn't so great."
They want like a little bit
and
more. Yeah.
They didn't have the paparazzi, and they didn't get the attention, and they didn't come back.
Interesting.
Which was
okay. Yeah.
Usually, those are the ones you're like, I don't need them.
Do you have any? Well, I want to hear. Do you have some good stories? Like some.
We have a lot of stories.
Or not. I wouldn't say. Well, we can maybe go to the bad ones later. But anything that like some stories that made you just really appreciative of your work out here, like taking care of properties, or maybe a client that was like surprisingly happy with.
We had one that was, for lack of a better word, a rocker.
Okay.
And people, often it would seem like word would get out And then some homeowners would say, well, I don't want so-and-so in my house. I don't want. And so we put this gentleman and his family in a home in Ketchum, and the heat went out. And the heat was out almost every day. And we kept having to send people in and fix. And in turn, he sent us flowers every day and said, I'm so sorry you girls are having to work so hard.
Oh.
And was the coolest.
Wow, that's really cool.
You know, as opposed to could have been really upset.
Yeah.
We had another client that was just, in my mind, you know, my dream that to get to meet her. And I remember going into the house one day, and she's talking, and all of a sudden starts getting upset at her grown children because they had left their Starbucks cups on the table, and she's telling them, she's not here to pick up after you. You get those jobs. And you just are so grateful that
That's cool.
But no, people were, you know, often we were in the office on Christmas Day. We were Christmas Eve. My goal would always be, and Jody's, that she was my child's godmother. And if we could make children's mass and meet my husband and Kelsey, that Christmas Eve we were going to have a good Christmas, because that meant we were done by 4.
Yeah.
But there were many Christmases that it's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Do you feel like it was worth it at the end? Like, looking back on your time, like those big sacrifices, like from what you've learned from it?
It was worth it. I'm glad I got out when I did, which is not to say I didn't appreciate. To have a child, we set it up in a manner that we were our worst enemy, because we didn't know what we didn't know and had no boundaries.
Yeah, okay.
And so at the end, I would go home and tell my husband that if I die, I don't want everybody at my funeral saying I was a good worker and I was happy, because I don't like this anymore. And that's when he finally said, stop.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Sell.
Yeah.
Jody left. Jody ended up meeting a man, moved to Washington State.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I probably kept the business 4 or 5 years after that.
Okay.
But it wasn't the same. You know,
Yeah.
when you don't have that partner in crime.
Yeah, right.
You know, we would every morning go to Christina's and get our mocha and kind of be like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
what is today going to
Yeah.
bring? And, you know, you ask stories. One of those was that one morning our morning started and we get this call, and it's panicked and tearful, and that, oh my gosh, Petey, the puppy, got hit by a snow plow. Well, one, we didn't know there was a puppy at that property, and that's probably not good for a puppy. So, you know, we're like, okay, we'll call ahead to Sun Valley Animal Center, get Petey if you can, take him, you know, they were in Gimlet, just go down the street. We get there, Petey the puppy lives. Good.
Okay, good.
But the girls from Sun Valley Animal Center would be calling, and they're like, they keep bringing in Pashminas to put in with Petey. What do we do with them?
Oh, really?
Can we keep them? I'm like, no, we need to give them back.
Yeah.
And so this particular client, Petey, survived, but now we know we have a puppy in a property that really wasn't supposed to have a dog.
Right.
And so it's nearing the end of their visit, and they wanted to know, Petey could travel had to go cargo from Sun Valley to Salt Lake, but could go, I guess, in the plane from maybe Salt Lake to New York, something like that. How could we get Petey to Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Could we get a car hire? Well, of course, at that time, we didn't have car hire. Which we had was, we would ask our FedEx driver, can we give you extra money and a rental car, and will you be a car hire?
Oh, no way.
So we asked Michael, and he said sure. And they said, well, they wanted to get the psychic and Petey on the phone to make sure that Petey would be comfortable with Mike.
No way.
So we had Mike come in, and the psychic and Petey, the puppy, got on the phone, and they determined that Petey would be okay, and Mike was good.
I don't know. Mike okay with the puppy?
I don't know what transpired. It ended up they didn't need Petey, or they didn't need Mike. They were going to figure out what they do with Petey. But we're all at the house now. It's a day of departure. The beloved ski instructor's there. So we're all trying to get everybody herded in their different cars to get them to the airport with the puppy, with the
Wow.
the
Wait,
clients.
the ski instructor.
The ski instructor came because
okay.
he was so invaluable to them.
The-
They
oh,
adored
wow.
him. So he came to say goodbye, kind of just goodwill. We're trying to get everybody in the car. The client's daughter decides that she'd like to drive to the airport. Nobody thinks anything about it. They do live in New York, but still, okay. We let the daughter get in one of the rental cars. The next thing we know, she's thrown the car in reverse. She's backed into the housekeepers.
Oh, no.
She then jumps out. The car's going forward. Luckily, the ski instructor jumps in, puts it in park. We now ended up with 2 cars wrecked. And unbeknownst to us, well, the daughter doesn't drive and doesn't have a driver's license, and that's why she didn't know how to.
Oh.
So we're kind of like, okay, let's just get in all
And
the other cars.
You're there, so you're here. You're
I'm
present.
there.
Okay.
Jody's there.
Oh, wow. Okay,
the
so
ski instructor, the housekeeper for that house.
are you in the car?
No,
Okay,
I think
okay,
I
you're-
was standing
you're just
out.
watching
Yeah, it's just I just remember Jody and I like. So then Jody and I are like, let's just get him in the cars with the ski instructor. I'm like, we will deal with the insurance. We'll figure it out. So we get to the airport, letting out, the mom, the daughter. I don't even know what the entourage was with them. Us, the dog. If anybody, the little Haley airport isn't that large.
Yeah.
So when a big group like that comes and then they proceed to crowd, Jody and I are just kind of in the back like, we really don't, we're not with them.
Yeah,
kind of. We got them on their way, and then we got to deal with the rental cars and claiming accidents.
My
I couldn't
goodness.
even tell you. I don't even really remember how we got all of that handled, but it did.
And then Mike, the FedEx guy, ended up taking.
No, Mike didn't end up having to take PD.
Oh, wow, okay.
I don't think he was even at the house that day. He just had to come to the office, and we put him through that torture. So
Wow. Okay, that's so not what. I mean, you guys were so high touch, like on everything. It sounds like like how present you were for the guests is like
we would
amazing.
drive to Reader. I mean, if they're playing,
Wow.
we would think we could sometimes predict weather better than probably the FBO at Haley.
Yeah. So
But
you
I
would-
don't know why. And at times you'd be like, okay, they're coming. And then all of a sudden you get, nope, they're going to Reader. Oh, okay. Off we go and
wow.
jump in the car and head to the...
Did you ever bring your daughter with you? Like when was she around, or was she with your husband, or what was the?
Okay, so one day my husband traveled a lot for work.
Yeah.
And both at the time, Distinctive was just booming. So was his career. So he traveled internationally a lot for shoots. One of our estate management clients came to town, and we would always take their car out on the tarmac to have it ready for them, and then our car as well. And I had my daughter, and so she's in the back seat, and it's kind of like, shh, guys, don't say a word, just you don't wave, just sit. And had it not been cold, I don't think anybody ever would have known, except the client arrived with their puppy and wanted to get the puppy out of the cold, so they jumped in the back seat of my car with my daughter. And you're like, hey, this is my daughter.
And how old was she at this time?
Oh, she was in a car seat, so she could have been 3.
Oh, that's funny.
4 maybe.
Okay.
So yes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, my wife does a lot of our cleanings for the company as well sometimes, but we have 2 girls, and they're 3 and 1, and so she'll bring them along, but nothing like to that extent. That's funny.
No, Jody and I don't know why, thought it would be funny when we were photographing properties. And again, with camera and tripod, and we would sometimes have my daughter and then play Where's Waldo in the pictures and let her hide behind like a chair and just kind
That's
of
really
peek.
funny.
And really professional. Again,
Hey, it works. That would work. That would be pretty funny to do.
it didn't work once in our favor. I was looking at your desk. Our first office
Yeah.
was tiny. We only took like one of those offices above in a temple.
Okay.
And our
Yes.
desks faced each other, and my daughter started going to work with me when she was 3 weeks old. And we had a client come in and want to talk about renting their property. So I had a kickboard on my desk, and I put her in her car seat at the front of my desk, and she made noises. And the client said, "Do you have a puppy?" I'm like, no, no puppy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of, what is making that noise?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have a baby. And they're like, under your desk? I have a baby under my desk. Needless to say, they didn't hire us.
Oh, really?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't think they liked that. Maybe I kept my baby under the desk.
Yeah.
But that was kind
funny.
of, how we rolled.
Totally.
It was small. It was hands-on. And
Yeah. And so, okay, so would you go to like basically every time a guest would check in, would you and Jody be there to greet them?
No,
Or, okay.
only our estate management, yes.
Okay.
And the high end. If we generally, if we had to take cars out on the tarmac,
Yeah.
then we accompanied them to the property.
Gotcha. Okay.
And because it was our belief, and I feel it when I travel, that first walk-in impression is your make or break.
Yes.
And if something goes wrong, then you're then having to try to play catch up and make them happy. Whereas if you're there, you can disarm, you can try to figure out how to fix it.
That's so true. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like on that first day, or like, the first couple hours, you want to make sure that any issues like that may have come up are at least on the progression of being resolved.
That you can point it out before they point it out to you that, I have a light, that light's out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's every time now, because we don't, we're not there, and self-check-in's like the thing. So, and people don't want to see people on their vacation now, unless it's like really real high end, then you could have a welcome party. But yeah, we all make sure like our lights are on, TVs are on, to like, one, because it's really nice not to walk into a dark house, but two, to show the lights work. It's like we don't have a light bulb out, and we checked. Like those like little things are a nod to making sure
it makes you
like
feel welcome.
Yeah, totally. I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I'm probably one of the worst now because
it's so funny. Yeah, we always say that. We went to anytime we go to an Airbnb, or like me and my wife went to Scottsdale this past weekend and stayed at a resort. It was awesome, but we're like the most annoying people ever because like our expectations are so high.
You know what to look for.
Yeah, and it's annoying now that it's in my brain.
Well, yeah, to get down and look. See if there's dust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But luckily we're not high maintenance where it's like that bothers us so much. But we know what to look for. But that's really cool. Okay, so Dan told me one story that I want to hear. Where you had someone that wanted all the furniture replaced in a property. Is that true? Like they
would send in their assistant, and they liked everything white. And so there was some furniture that they would want removed. There was others that they would cover up.
Wow.
There was artwork that they may want down. So there was about a week of just where they rented the property for a week so that it could be prepped, so they could send in their sugar cubes and their staples.
Wow.
So yeah.
And the owners were cool with that too.
Owners
of the house.
loved it.
They were just like, whatever, go for it.
The client was also really naughty. I can't wouldn't use coasters.
Yeah, okay.
And so without a doubt, there would always be ring stains. And so it was the perfect way for the client to get their end tables refinished.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Okay.
And so they love that.
Client
because it was almost like, ooh, I'm gonna get this nightstand. I'm gonna put it by the bed so that hopefully they ruin it and I can get it fixed. Yeah. And
so then you like charge the guest for damage,
constantly.
basically.
You were constant.
And they were okay. So then that's so funny. So then the guest is like cool with. They don't care.
They
just like,
knew.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them were like that.
Yeah.
This guest just kind
in particular,
of knew
okay.
That.
Wow, that is so interesting. What do you feel like? Like, how is your, I guess your perception of like celebrity changed from the good and the bad. Like,
Again, it's not fair because I don't deal with them any longer. I
Yeah.
only watch like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
And
So that's
Real Housewives of
So being famous
Salt
has
Lake.
changed too. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think again, our clients wanted to come here. They wanted to just be present. They didn't want attention. They wanted everything
Yeah.
well taken care of, and they definitely wanted the best of the housekeepers, the chefs, the service, the flowers. But I would think now it would be far more difficult to really keep clients happy and
Yeah. Because of like almost the access to expectations.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's okay.
and it's
Yeah.
difficult, I mean, even living in the mountains, I hope I don't get in trouble from naming a brand. We have Cox Communication. Cox
Yeah.
goes out, internet
right.
goes out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do. It's not like in a city where you have high speed whatever, or it's always constant. And we even had some of that where if the power goes out or you lose your internet, I can't do anything.
Yeah. It's still that. It's
And
still
it's
that way.
mountain
Yeah.
living, and
You're
that
right.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
No, I think it would be. I don't think our model would work now,
Yeah.
or it would. It wouldn't have been as fun. It wouldn't be as fun, and I think it would be a lot more stressful. And we certainly had our stressful times. There
Yeah.
was no doubt about it. But you could generally say, I'm sorry, I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
We were at the house all the time. If somebody was having a heating problem, we were there making sure, meeting the electrician, the contractor.
Yeah.
We never just sent somebody to a house and said, surprise,
Yeah. Right.
knock on the door and
Yeah.
there's going to be, so.
Yeah, that's funny. We now it's because people can book on Airbnb and VRBO and all these sites, the understanding of who the property manager are is like way less. It's just like people just think you're a host. But it sounds like with you it was more like, hey, you book with Distinctive Properties and you talk to Jeffra and Jody directly. But here, yeah, I would say though, for the higher end clients, it is like more of a personal direct referral where it's like, hey, we heard so-and-so like staying with you guys. It's still like that. But for the common guest, it's like they really just book on Airbnb and VRBO. And if they liked you a lot, then they'll, they look into us a little bit more and then want to book direct. But it's there's so much competition now too. Like,
I can't
I don't know
imagine.
how many homes were on the market then, in the 90s and early 2000s. Now we have like close to 1,000 properties available in the valley. So
Wow.
yeah,
No,
it's crazy.
no. And again, homeowners didn't know how to do it themselves. They needed
Oh, that's a good point
somebody
too. Yeah.
to kind of show them. We did have one homeowner, and she was wonderful, and she knew how to get her house set up, and that don't ask us, do I have to take my clothes out of my closet? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to rent your house and
Yeah.
have your clothes in
Yeah,
the closet.
totally.
But again, I think it's easier. People, they can go online. They can look at YouTube and how to get your house ready to rent and want to. I think they're also more eager to cut out the middleman. Where before, I think they liked you deal with the people. Maybe I get to say hello, but you deal with them otherwise. And we did. Jody and I, not that we ever chose, but it just turned out that maybe I worked with a client that was coming from San Francisco, and I spent more time on the phone with her. So I knew she was bringing her son and an only child and a nanny, and where did they want to go eat, and where did I like to eat, and where did I take my child, and Jody may have picked up someone else. So we were definitely in touch. It was rare that we didn't have some sort of real working relationship with almost every one of our clients.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, I understand how exhausting that sounds, but also
it was fun. No.
I like that kind of side of the business. Like
I have good friends
Yeah.
that were clients that, in fact, were going. They stayed with us when their children were children, and we're going to the one son's wedding in October, and they were at our daughter's wedding in September. So
Yeah.
it was fun when you got to make that connection and make friends, and but then it was also, there were times that you knew you were the worker.
Yeah, totally.
And as long as you delivered and they were happy, good, but it wasn't as though, don't think they're going to call and invite you to see them, on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I think we still have that sort of relationship with owners. Guests, not so much. I don't, it's just the transaction so
right,
fast
it's more,
now.
yeah, it's transactional.
Yeah.
Well, and we didn't have, and again, it was probably existing, and we just didn't know about it, and it wasn't as enforced. But FMLA, we had houses that we said didn't allow children. Well, now knowing that you don't get away with
Yeah,
that,
right. Yeah, interesting.
and when you do it online, you don't have, where we could very carefully monitor who was going into what house, and if they said, we have 3 children, it was like, well, these aren't going to be offered. Now knowing that, probably
no, you don't.
wasn't.
Yeah, the control's gone way down. You can, the children one, that's not like, we can't really do that parameter
I could
anymore.
have a pet if
We
it
can't-
was my service
right.
animal.
Yeah. So we don't know, and with Ring and all those things, you can kind of get an idea, but then you have to disclose that, and so it's become very protective of the guest, which is understandable to an extent, but like the host, I guess, on a lot of these sites don't get a lot of as much representation or like protection. So it makes this figuring out if the guest is a good fit for the home really hard.
Yeah.
And the reviews are huge, and so
No.
man, yeah, it has changed a lot. Well, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want to know, is there anything in the Valley in particular that you may be promoting or want people to hear about, or because I know you're retired
I'm retired.
from property management, but you're still here in the Valley.
I'm just so proud to be part of a member in this community. Recently I joined the Wood River Women's Foundation.
Oh, cool.
And I think what they do is so impressive with the collective giving and the nonprofits that have benefited. And we have so many great causes. And it's unfortunate that we can't support all of them.
Yeah.
I love Swiftsure. That's near and dear to my heart. But no, just enjoying being
Cool.
a member of this great valley.
Yeah. Well, it was cool to hear your story,
Well,
and thank you for coming on.
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.